Welcome to Anime with Annie. Today's recap will be on the Rising of the Shield Hero series from episodes 11 to 16 of Season 1. So make sure to stay tuned until the end and hit the subscribe button. That said, let's have a closer look. Episode 11. Armed with Raphtalia and Filo and the loot party under the leadership of Knight Ache, the wave begins with Ache's unit aiding citizens while Naofumi's party dispatches monsters. She shows herself to be a retired adventurer after witnessing an elderly woman who was cured by Naofumi when he was traveling and battling monsters with ease. After 3 hours, Naofumi becomes concerned about the advancement of the other heroes and departs Ache's group with the old woman to safeguard the populace. When Naofumi discovers the other heroes' groups carelessly assaulting a Dutchman, she reprimands them and makes Raphtalia reveal the hidden boss, a gigantic soul eater. Naofumi turns to his cursed shield, but the zombie dragon spirit that resides inside the shield is enraged because Ren killed it and Naofumi used it as a part of his equipment. In response to the attempted takeover, Naofumi and Filo attack the soul eater in a rage, but Naofumi recalls his goal and regains control to deploy a new ability for the victory, Iron Maiden. Having defeated the soul eater, Naofumi returns to normal, but a new foe, Glass, a lady in a black kimono carrying twin-bladed war fans, comes and quickly dispatches the second soul eater. Glass is the real foe of this wave. Episode 12. Glass confronts Naofumi's team after handily defeating the previous 3 hero parties. They are unable to strike a single blow, not even with Raphtalia and Filo's assistance, against Naofumi's many shields. Glass tries long-range attacks while signaling for a tactile retreat, but retreats when the wave's time limit expires, leading to a standoff. When Naofumi is called back to the castle following the fight, he muses about the wave's temporal restrictions in their actual meeting. Ulcray wants him to divulge the source of his powers, but Naofumi makes her kneel and plead. Furious, Ulcray tries to blackmail Filo and Raphtalia, but Naofumi warns him that if he does, things will become worse. A lady subtly alerts Naofumi about the church's plot against him as he departs. Melty tries to get her father to make amends with Naofumi, but Multi makes things worse. Naofumi's group is equipped with provisions and travel equipment before they head to Shield Freedom for Raphtalia and Filo's class-ups. On the way, Melty meets them and urges Naofumi to make amends with Ulcray. Moments before one of Melty's bodyguards try to kill her, Naofumi notices something is up. However, she stands up for her. Episode 13. When the approaching knights see Naofumi defending Melty, they accuse him of holding her prisoner but are repulsed. The Church of the 3 Heroes, which despises the shield, is represented by the guard where Naofumi discovers the pendant. The wizards in the royal palace altered the video of Naofumi kidnapping Melty, turning him into a wanted person. Naofumi's team hikes across the mountains to go to neighboring Sviltveld with the intention of protecting Melty in order to remedy their predicament. The other 3 heroes and adjacent guards are informed of a loose rock at night. Melty commands them to disregard Melty as she tries to explain the problem, stating Naofumi has a brainwashing shield despite the absence of supporting proof. The heroes fall for this. Filo is stopped by Motasua with a magical shackle while Naofumi tries to leave with Melty. Itsuki and Ren start to have doubts about Mine as she openly attacks without concern for Melty's safety after Naofumi resorts to using his rage shield to flee. Ren receives the church pendant from Naofumi, who then requests an inquiry before leaving. One of Muriel's emissaries aids in freeing Filo from his restraint and communicates Muriel's wish to see Naofumi. The messenger is identified by Naofumi as the same woman who forewarned him about the church. However, Naofumi chooses to continue traveling in the direction of Siltveld because encountering Muriela will send them the either way. Mine starts a forest fire in the meantime to drive Naofumi away. Episode 14. In order to get away from Mine's Knights, Naofumi's group is required to dodge the forest fire. By royal edict, the border to Siltveld is closed the next morning, forcing Naofumi to meet Muriela. They encounter nobleman Van Renash, the area's ruler and a friend of Melty as they journey. When they arrive at Reichnot's estate, he learns of the predicament and extends an invitation for them to spend the night. When daylight arrives, the maids conceal Naofumi and Raphtalia in the pantry while Melty diverts the knight's attention. Reichnot is then taken into custody. They come and their commander, nobleman Idle Raber, leads Melty to his manor. When Naofumi notices Raphtalia's worry over Rabier, she sues him to allow Melty's plan to succeed. After Rabier departs, Naofumi and Filo travel to Rabier's mansion where they meet up with Rabier. Naofumi uses this to sneak into the castle where Reichnot is being tortured in front of Melty for Rabier's enjoyment, while Reichnot's devoted demi-humans besiege the gates demanding his freedom. To save Melty and Reichnot, Naofumi succeeds in getting into the manor. Rabier is confronted by Raphtalia and cries out for forgiveness. Episode 15. In a flashback, Melor marks soldiers enslave the residents of Raphtalia's hometown after the first wave decimates it. She is sold to idle Rabier along with her best companion Rifna. In the end, Rifna's condition causes her to pass away, and Rapier sells her to Buklas, introducing Raphtalia to Naofumi. Raphtalia is about to attack in the present until Naofumi points out how much she has changed. She saves Rapier after realizing that murdering him would not offer any peace. When Rapier is insulted, he struggles to kill her, but she wounds him with her mana sword, causing him to tumble back out of a window. In order to raid Reichnott, Raphtalia directs the group to Bespin Jail, where they come across demi-human survivors, including her former companion Keel. After discovering Rifna's bones in the cage left to rot, Raphtalia sobs, thinking she'd abandoned her. To cheer up, Naofumi says that it was because of her and how she'd rescued him from the shadows that he had finally begun to trust her once more. Raphtalia assures Rifna that she will return home someday to restore her and give her a proper burial. A Pterosaurus-like dragon creature that had been imprisoned in the courtyard is released by a still-living Rapier, who is then killed by it as it moves towards Naofumi. Episode 16. A girl with white wings is talking to a Filo about a potential queen candidate and asking her to visit somewhere in the forest. Naofumi commands Raphtalia, Filo, Melty, and Vine Reichnott to flee as the recently liberated tyrant Dragon Rex rampages across Idol Rapier's mansion. Melty is horrified by Rapier's ability to shatter the monster's seals, while Naofumi is perplexed by the monster's ability to follow them, despite their best efforts to avoid them. When Filo charges into battle, the beast is unaffected by her attacks. Melty observes a pink glow in Filo's tummy as well as the dragons, and Naofumi concludes the monster is just for Filo, because of the inherent animosity between dragons and Filolas, allowing her to entice him out of the city. The Tanuki girl offers Keel her status-enhancing bracelet before leaving with Naofumi as Reichnott and the other demi-humans flee as Keel orders them to join the shield hero in battle. The tyrant is successfully lured out of the town by Naofumi's group, but not without doing significant damage to it. The gang tries to battle the dragon once more, but their efforts are entirely ineffectual due to its formidable scales. When Naofumi decides to use the rash shield, a voice abruptly warns him not to. A massive flock of Filos appears and forms a circle around the dragon. Naofumi tries to summon the rash shield once more, but this time the voice violently interferes with its metamorphosis, in addition to warning him not to use it. 500 times larger than Filo, the gigantic Filo Queen rises from the lake. She informs the tyrant that the dragon's Emperor core shard caused its body to outgrow control, and that if it surrenders the core, its life will be spared. The Filo Queen kills tyrants quickly and easily while capturing the core. She then turns to Naofumi and wants to speak with him, but before doing so, she changes into human form, revealing herself to be the earlier mentioned girl with white wings, and announces herself as Victoria, the world's foremost filial. Melty claims that a legendary hero from earlier times reared her. Victoria tells Filo that it will take a long time to develop into a new Filo queen like her as the gang presents themselves. Melty claims that while on a diplomatic mission, she got to meet Victoria. To Victoria's dismay, Naofumi first offers a piece of the killed dragon to his shield before she can take them somewhere to discuss. They are brought to the remnants of a Filo refuge that the previous heroes guarded. They prepare and consume the tyrant's flesh for supper, but Naofumi soon finds herself having to prepare a lot more food for the flock of peckish Filos. Following dinner, Victoria and Naofumi discuss the possibility of Filo being the next Filo queen. Victoria notes that because she was raised by a hero, Filo develops differently from the rest and expresses her dislike for the hero's tendency to battle one another rather than work together. She also mentions the fact that the waves also happen outside Melomark. Each hero is, or should be called to battle, the waves on behalf of a different nation. Victoria hates people, yet she fights for them because of the former hero who raised her requested her to. Because she can't do everything on her own, she requires the heroes to work together. With their respective parties, Renamaki and Itsuki Kasumi sneak into the Church of the Three Heroes underground library with the intention of discovering everything that the church hides from the public. Back at Melomark, now fully convinced that Naofumi was correct the entire time. They are unaware that Princess Melty is hiding there, dissatisfied with their investigation. Victoria continually urges Naofumi to mend fences with the other heroes, since doing so is essential to getting rid of the waves from the planet. But Naofumi continues to say no, because doing so is difficult given the enmity he faces from them and the whole Melomark kingdom. Then Victoria declares that she must kill the present heroes in order to call new ones for the benefit of the world. And that concludes my recap for the Rising of the Shield Hero series from Season 1 of episodes 11 to 16. If you enjoyed it, please be sure to like and subscribe to my channel, Anime with Annie, for more such exciting anime content and reviews. And please leave comments about what you thought of today's video. And remember, have an Annie-mazing day.